and gentlemen, good morning if you're here in the UK or in Europe, and also in Egypt, South Africa, and Nigeria. Good afternoon if you're in the Middle East, for example, in Saudi Arabia or South Asia. And good evening if you're in China, Japan, the Asia Pacific, or Australia. If you're in New York, it's very early in the morning indeed, and it's even earlier in Indiana. And if you're on the west coast of the United States, all I can say to you is good night. Can I check that everybody can hear me and see me?
Yes, I can.
Good, and you can see me on full screen, can you?
I guess I can also.
Yes, good, excellent. Well, my role this morning, I'm Chris Bellamy, formerly of the University of Greenwich, and my role this morning is to act as the Master of Ceremonies, a role that has previously been played by Mark Jones and David Graves, who unfortunately can't be with us today, so you've got me instead. We received 100 papers for this conference, of which 60 were accepted. Therefore, it's very important that session chairs ensure that their speakers stick to time. The keynote speakers have got 20 minutes for prepared comments, plus 5 minutes for questions. The other papers, the panel papers, have got 12 minutes for prepared comments and 3 minutes for questions. And it is vital, as I say, that session chairs stick to that. I know you spent days working on them and you've got 120 PowerPoint slides, but if you run over, I'm afraid we'll have to ask you to stop. I'm going to chair this inaugural session this morning, and I will shortly be handing you over to Dr. Palto Datta, the Executive Chair of the Centre for Business and Economic Research, UK. It is quite remarkable that we are able to converse using this wonderful device called Zoom. I always think, what would have happened if we had had this pandemic 50 or 40 years ago? We just wouldn't have been able to cope. I've worked in Bangladesh with Dr. Datta as well as here in England, and where he very kindly facilitated my attendance at 2 conferences and also a week's teaching at the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Maritime University, which was then in Dhaka, although it's going to be moving, we hope, still to Chittagong in a couple of years. The co-chair from the City University of New York, Joanne Roll, it's 4:30 in the morning in New York at the moment, so 4:30 in the morning in New York. So she's done a pre-recorded address, and then she'll be joining us later when the United States wakes up. Joanne is from the Evers College of the City University of New York, and so she's the co-host with Palto. So I think for the opening remarks, that's really all I want to say. I would say again that please stick to time, and as I say, we've got 60 papers, which is an awful lot. So on that note, I'll hand immediately over to Palto, and then you'll be hearing a pre-recorded address from Joanne after that. Palto.